Hi listeners, a quick word before we begin. Life happened during the editing of this episode, so it's not as cleaned up as it normally would be. I honestly hope to be able to go back and re-upload a better version of this episode at an unknown later date for my own sanity, but I feel pretty hopeful that it won't be too distracting this time. I hope you'll forgive the deviation from the norm. Given the choice to get the episode out on the right day, and to get it perfect, I went with timeliness. Thanks, and I hope you enjoy the shenanigans we get up to this time around.
Hello and welcome to Dice Punks, a tabletop role-playing podcast where we focus on playing full campaigns in less well-known systems. This week in Episode 9, downtime in Fermata is decidedly over as crises converge. Hello, I'm Adam, your friendly neighborhood game master, and joining me are...
Hi, I'm Drew, and I'll be playing Dosktyr, Duke of Nothing, and guy who had a lovely date.
I'm Robin, and I'll be playing Lissa Crate, the Duchess of Fury, skipping the alliteration today because my main squeeze got yeeted out of a window last session.
I'm Dez, and I'll be playing Ramnet, Prophet of the Obsidian God, who also had a lovely date.
Thank you all. Before we get started, though, let's briefly recap any character stat growth and the events of the previous episode for ourselves and our listeners. So let's begin, Des. You have that XP roll.
Yahtzee.
Wrong system,
I've been
for
playing
sure.
The wrong game this whole time.
That is 6 threes.
You get the experience point.
Yep. And what a waste of a roll for it. Any set would do, but no.
Yeah, any other expenditures of experience, mortal or divine? All right.
Saving for a rainy day.
Yeah, I'll probably
Yeah.
I'll probably be doing something with it next time, but meh. Requires planning ahead.
It occurs to me I have not decided whether or not it rains in Fermata. I'll have to give that some thought. Okay, so I believe that this week's summary of last episode's events goes to Dusk.
I believe that it does. So we picked up last time in the nightcap, and something that I think has been happening to Ramnet a fair bit lately happened to a lot of us, which is to say someone came in very distraught about the dark. I'm starting to maybe get the distinct impression that people in Fermata can't leave Fermata, not just that they don't, but that they can't. We helped her as best we could. Lissa was, of course, extremely helpful, and she managed to have a lovely evening with Kea afterwards, and Ramnet and I also had a lovely evening. He has incredible taste in restaurants. We had a lovely time. Anyway, he continued working while I tried to get furiously bright and furiously soft things for our home to middling success. And anyway, back to Ramnet, who got this great look. His eyes are like... They aren't, but they still are. It's great. It looks good on him. Anyway, Mott remains entirely unreceptive to basically all of our concerns. Ramnet remains popular. And Lissa, one night, went looking for Kea at the nightcap, did not find her there, but did find her being, I believe the phrase is as yeeted, out of a window. And she seemed to be fearing the dark like other people are. And then I think Lissa felt something wrong about her estate.
Just so, and thank you for that wonderful summary. So yeah, we'll pick up exactly there. Lissa, you are...
I'm sorry, I have to recover from that excellent summary.
It was a very good summary.
We rejoin Lissa, sort of crouched protectively over Kea on paving stones strewn with broken glass. Kea herself is sobbing and shivering, mumbling and muttering things about the darkness and how it's pressing in and coming for her. You're unable to pay close attention to that or to her many superficial scrapes and cuts, because you are in agony, Lissa. Agony that you know to be the result of somebody attacking Fury.
I don't drop Kea. That's the important thing. First things first, I'm going to do assuming the attack on my estate doesn't prevent it, I'm going to do a lesser creation of fury, kiss Kea on the forehead, and inflict her with furious joy to counter the fear of the darkness.
Okay. So this is interesting. That feels to me like it's going to be a charm, fascinate roll to get the effect that you want. Again, the fury is created either way. But you are also in extreme pain.
You're going to take out my master die.
In fact, I'm going to take out 2 dice. This is a Herculean effort just to focus. So you're going to roll 4 dice as your pool in order to get the kind of fury that you want.
I actually got 2 2s.
That'll do it. You immediately feel Kea sort of like, it would be wrong to say she relaxes, but she becomes less of a tight ball of fearful energy. And she subsides from kind of panicked muttering to just sort of quiet occasional sobbing. In the meantime, you are still racked with, I mean, literally, it is like somebody hit you with a hammer, but instead of hitting your body with a hammer, they've hit your soul with a hammer.
I've felt that before.
Relatable content.
Hashtag 2020. So if we're in the quiet city, right?
Correct.
The first place I'm going to go is to Romnet's place because it exists in both cities, as I recall, and there's a fairly good chance that Dosk is there. Do I need to roll anything because I'm going to keep Kea in my arms and try to stagger my way there?
Okay, so I need actually 2 rolls from you. The first one is less directly related to that. Sense plus sight, so 2 dice.
That's a dick move.
Probably should have checked to see if there was anything pressingly dangerous. Surprising no one. I got a 0 and a 6, so no matches.
Okay. And then your roll to successfully trek and carry Kea with you is going to be body plus endurance, or 5 dice for you. As this is very much in Lissa's sort of wheelhouse, I'm going to forego assessing a penalty, though it is very difficult.
Okay, it's not. Never mind. I realized that because it's endurance, it's not athletics. I got excited. I thought I was going to be able to use lifting stance.
Ah.
Someday. Oh, 2 zeros.
Okay, yeah.
2 tens, sorry.
Yeah, 2
I was
tens,
distracted because I also
nothing.
had a 6 and a 9. I was trying to parse if that was also a pair, but it wasn't.
Just nice.
Nice.
No, it's just nice.
I'm glad all.
Simply nice.
But yeah, 2 tens. It takes you a little while to get there. But you sort of grit your teeth, you pull yourself upright, and you've got like spots dancing in your vision from, the pain. But by the time you arrive at Romnet's place, you are sort of able to kind of stuff it down. You have figured out how to sort of compartmentalize it. Your brain is no longer perceiving it as physical pain in quite the same way. It is, to quote that one movie, something like a splinter in your mind, but it is not affecting your physical, sort of well-being anymore.
I'm
by the
good
time
at
you get to
compartmentalizing.
It's not always the best
You
skill.
can say that.
No, I probably rudely kick open the door.
Okay. When she kicks the door open, then does she find? This is sort of early evening at Romnet's house.
Are we there,
I can
or
make the
am I
decision
there?
that I'm there. Yeah. I would say, if it's up to us, then I would say we're there.
Okay. I have probably offered you more coffee. it is probably wise of you to decline.
I probably know by now to decline, but I appreciate being asked anyway. I've
I also
probably
have tea.
rated whatever. Sure. I've probably realized that one has more rocket fuel in it than the other, but we're probably doing this Baroque of offering and declining various caffeinated or not beverages when you walk in, and whether that seems like kabuki theater or cute or whatever is probably up to the viewer.
Yeah, so the door crashes open, and there stands Lissa looking a little drawn and peaked, with a quietly sobbing Kea with blood-stained, ragged clothes in her arms, like a fireman's carry.
Kea, afraid of dark. Think it's a disease. Fury is under attack.
Fury is under... How does... I turned to Ramnet. How does that work? Fury. She. That under... What? How?
I point at myself, mortal. How the hell should I know?
Mortal, knowledgeable. You work here. You've worked here longer than we have.
And you've seen how well the big guy has responded to questions.
You make a good point, but we should probably deal with
Help, please.
Yes, let's help, please. Kea, it seems, needs medical attention in addition to perhaps sunlight, which is harder to obtain. But
she kind of went through a window.
Kinda?
How do you kind of go through a window? Never mind.
She went through a window.
Well, medical attention is not to be sought here. Let's go. So we go back to...
What was the doctor's name? Yeah,
Farna was the doctor's
Farna.
name.
Thank you.
Mostly I was waiting for everyone else to recover.
Yeah.
I'm square.
Are you just gonna let Lissa carry? Well, actually, she probably won't.
Yeah,
let
Lissa
anyone
was
else
I don't
carry
think she
it.
will let anybody else.
To anybody else? Yeah, let's be real here.
I love that you went for help to the two people in the city most likely to get caught up on the kinda, in the phrase kinda went through a window.
Yes.
In short
The
order...
brand is strong. So, and I will say, when walking out, whether it's coffee or tea I ended up with in my hand, I down the entire thing.
I carry mine with me, and I have your hand in my other one.
Very good.
So you guys head over to Farna's, and she is in the middle of telling somebody how to prepare their insomnia remedy when you stride inside. And she looks and she goes, "Oh dear, blood. Well, bring her in." And then sort of shoos the other person out and think, "Well, you can read. It's all written down. Just take it and go. Right here, right here. Lay her down."
She apparently went
And
through a
begins
window,
to...
kind of.
She went through a window. I don't know why she's afraid of the dark.
"Well, I can do something about the cuts, but the rest is going to be up to you." And Farna starts cleaning all of the little cuts and scrapes.
While she's working, I will inquire whether others have been in complaining of the terror of the dark.
And I'll probably quickly, like, when she starts to touch Kea, kind of stop her and mention that I think it might be contagious.
She gives you a look and says, "Well, risk I'll have to take, I suspect. Someone needs to clean these wounds. So, let me at it. As for
Wear a
Fear of the
mask.
Fear of the Dark, it's not the sort of problem people come to me for. I think that would be more in our prophet's wheelhouse." She kind of nods in the direction of Romnet. Says, "But, well, these things happen from time to time, I suppose.
Has
Possibly
psychiatry
some of
been
the
invented
folks I've been
in
treating
Fermanagh?
No. It has not.
All we have is religious guidance.
She, as for most of human history,
Yes.
Farna says, "I have been getting more cases of insomnia lately, but no one complaining of fear of the dark exactly, just trouble sleeping. and it's not a unbelievable uptick, but if it helps. While she's saying this, of course, she is cleaning and beginning to salve some of Kaya's wounds. Kaya is conscious for this, but she is not terribly with it. She's probably in some kind of state of shock.
The whole time I just keep running fingers through her hair.
She seems to appreciate it.
So if she's at least stable, as it were, then how are you doing? Is it constant? Can you tell where, who, what?
It's constant. I imagine if we went to the gates, it would take us to the right place, but there's slightly more pressing issues.
Sure, didn't mean to distract. I'm just worried about you is all.
It's a discomfort that makes me feel small.
Is it
Can I momentarily negate her discomfort, since I am, after all, the Duke of Nothing? Can I replace whatever splinter is in her mind with no splinter, if only
That would
if
be
only for a short
fabulous.
time?
Let's see, that would be, in your case, creation, I guess?
Yeah, that makes sense. Creation
A
of nothing.
creation of nothing.
Yeah. Oh, I have
I gotta
not
bring out
We're
added
going
Potion
to
that
get
costs.
very good at parsing out negatives.
Oh yeah,
Right.
lots of math with this guy.
I'll find my reference sheet. Oh, there it is. Okay. Yeah, I feel like you can attempt it as a lesser creation or as a lesser change.
Okay,
The creation is cheaper.
sure. Yeah, I'll try a lesser creation.
Okay.
Yeah, because whatever is actually attacking the estate of Fury might require those miracle points shortly. So if I can do this without spending them and alleviate some pain from a friend, then that's what I'd like to do.
You invoke the miracle and target it at whatever is causing this discomfort for Alyssa. And if you have ever taken a metal baseball bat to a metal object that does not move, that is more or less how this feels, but again, less physically and more metaphysically. Dusk, you probably get the worst of that, since you're the one holding the bat, so to speak. But it does also, in this case, Alyssa is the, I don't know, breezeway support or bleacher or something, whatever you would hit with a metal baseball bat. And so it is not exactly a pleasant experience on Alyssa's end either.
Gotcha. I'd chirp out an apology. It's probably something along the lines of, sorry, ah.
I stagger and just give Dosk a thumbs up and say, don't worry about it. Just don't do that again.
I return the thumbs up and say, think nothing of it.
I'm probably
Think
just
nothing.
looking back and forth, one of you to the other, with, expressions of dubiousness and concern.
The best I can explain is it seems I can't use my thing to help her thing.
He can't use his thing to help my thing.
At least not here, not now, not easily.
Okay.
At around this time, Farna has reached her diagnosis of Kea. Well, she should definitely avoid jumping through any more closed windows in the future. But I think she'll be alright. Probably uncomfortable for a few days. There's hardly a place without a scratch on her, but they're all pretty superficial, and I've got them salved and dressed. So...
Can you keep her here? And I start to pull out just coins.
She looks at your coins and goes, yes, I can keep her here, and I suppose that I will keep... And she takes exactly one coin, and she goes, enough to feed her. But again, you're the gods of this place. You don't pay. And pushes the rest of the coins back at you.
Well, your services and yourself are appreciated as ever.
Yes, well, I do hope you find what ails you. We need you fit and hale.
I'll work on it, but you should probably take another coin for candles and light sources. I'll leave her with one, but I don't know how long it'll last.
That's probably good thinking, I suppose. She takes the other coin with resignation.
So you left her with a candle?
Yeah, I'm gonna do, however, I'm gonna have to spend some miracle points, but it's worth it in this case. I'm gonna make a small orb of light that'll follow Kea around.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's gonna cost you 2 realm miracle points, I believe.
Yeah. There we go.
That was from Spirit.
Whoops, thank you.
It's alright. I just happened to be watching.
Oh, darn. Oh, wait. So can I do have enough. Why am I doing this? Okay, I'm going to, can I do a greater creation and ensure that it sticks around?
Major creation for 5? Okay, yeah, I mean, you could have this thing basically be a permanent light source for her with that. I think technically it's supposed to increment from 1 to 2 to 4 to 8, but I don't know how closely we've been following that rule, so I'm willing to allow the use of 5 out of your 6 realm miracle points here to get a
7
permanent
for major
light source.
creations in realm.
Right, I'm saying that you're only really supposed to be able to use miracle points in increments of 1, 2, 4, or 8. But I don't think we've been following that rule especially closely so far. So,
to be completely
in the
honest,
spirit
I did not even remember that rule, so okay.
Yeah.
Yes, I
in the spirit
either,
of consistency, I am going to allow the 5 here. Yeah, it's at the very top of the word the reference that I've got.
Thank you,
set up,
Hollyhock
but,
God.
Yeah, this seems like the sort of thing you should be able to do in your own chancel. So, yeah, you create... I mean, describe to me what it is that's going to be, sort of orbiting or trailing Kea here.
Probably a mini sun, but it's also going to have a smiley face on it. But not like the Majora's Mask moon, like a genuinely friendly smiley face.
Okay.
Not a rictus grin.
Not a rictus grin. Maybe subconsciously I model it after the look that Das gives Ramnut with the binary sun face.
This is silly. But give me a charm fascinate roll, inclusive of your master die.
Inclusive of my master. Okay.
Yes.
So I'm gonna say that's 2 10s because I rolled a single 10, so naturally I'm setting my master die to that.
Okay. You hold out a hand and kind of concentrate. You feel the power flow, and this little, about the size, let's say of like a softball, very bright to look at directly, but this little sun with like this jovial smiling face in it, sort of spins around, looks at you, nods, and then whizzes in a little spiral to sort of settle into where Kea's hands are kind of cupped over her abdomen, and just kind of like hangs out there. It doesn't seem to give off heat, just light, and a lot of it.
I'm gonna name it Moxie.
Moxie. That's very cute.
M-O-T-X-I-E.
So yes, Kea now has Moxie, the personal son.
Yes.
This is the kind of religious observance I can get behind.
Yeah.
Just to maximize
right, so that's...
the chances of pissing him off.
That's settled.
Exactly.
Kea now has her own personal source of illumination.
I probably give her another kiss on the forehead and then turn and point to Dusk and say, "We need to go."
We do.
Very well. So, any preparations, or are we just heading straight to the gate?
I mean, I always have my hammer with me, so...
I think I also
Fair
roll armed, not even because I'm expecting a fight, but because I like that people seem impressed.
Very well. And so, Romnet, you get the distinct impression that you are about to be left behind here. Anything in particular that you have to add, to say, or to undertake as they prepare to journey abroad?
No, I will go with them to the gate, though, to see them off.
Okay.
And then once they're gone,
I'm assuming we
will...
go hand in hand, and I give yours a meaningful squeeze before letting go to take the last few steps toward the gate.
I will kiss it before letting go.
Suddenly I look like Moxie.
So as you round the last intersection into the Gateway Plaza, you see that the statues, which have, since your return, had that real pulpy movie poster vibe to them, featuring Lissa's alter ego, it has changed. And it now has a statue of Lissa sort of kneeling down in something of a pietà hold, but in her arms is another Lissa, just smaller and kind of, less rugged looking, unconscious with her head lolled back, and then standing behind the kneeling Lissa is a solemn-looking Dosk, much taller in comparison to the actual Lissa than you are in real life, with one hand comfortingly on the kneeling Lissa's shoulder.
I point to the two Lissas and say, I would ship that.
Yours was better. I was going to refer to it as a Fibonacci pietà of Lissa.
Both
Careful,
are very
you're
good.
giving Adam ideas.
Fibonacci pietà is my drag name. Okay.
Oh my gosh. Would it be considered... We're not going to get into the logistics of that. Let's just go.
Well, let's continue. We press on. That's a morsel we'll pick up later, perhaps.
So you shake your heads and head up to the gate. As Lissa approaches, the nearest gate slams open, to admit your egress.
Thanks, buddy.
It quivers on its hinges.
Yeah, I kind of nod, because quivering is a perfectly respectable reaction.
To Lissa, certainly.
Yeah, my eyebrows just did a little quirk.
Who wouldn't quiver?
So, proceeding through the gates, you feel that falling sensation that you felt when you've left Fermata before, and you have every expectation of being delivered to wherever the trouble is, based on your previous experience, or at least within a day's walk of it. And so you find yourselves sort of with a soft thud landing on your feet in a more or less perfectly dark room that smells of dust and parchment. In fact, Dusk, roll a sense scrutinize for me.
I can do that. I'm going to need to look up how many dice that is real quick. That is...
'Tis 4.
4 dice. Mm-hmm. Let the listener and me both agree. And the GM. That's important. No matches.
All right. It's a little bit of a nostalgic smell all the time you spent in libraries and stuff. You're pretty sure that there are books around. Though this is maybe like an archival stack, maybe even a basement.
Yeah, I think I convey that to Lissa, perhaps just saying in a somewhat feral tone. There are books about.
Now I'm just imagining you like Steve Irwining books.
What a beauty!
One day they will be my death, and I will die with no regrets.
He's a great human. I probably look at Dusk and say, curb your enthusiasm for it, at least until we get this sorted out. Can I do a lesser divination to see if I could see where the Fury is being attacked, I guess.
Oh, for sure. Yeah. Go ahead. You invoke this lesser divination miracle to learn about your estate, and it's a little bit tricky to divine something like location for an abstract, but you feel like, sort of like if you had been jabbed with a needle somewhere on your body, you would have an idea of where you were jabbed. In this case, the pain in Fury is a long way to the northwest. You actually aren't sure that you could make an estimate about how many miles.
I don't think we're close.
Oh no. Do I feel any pull at all?
No.
It's not like when we're on assignment from the boss.
No.
I suppose all we can do is set out in the correct direction with as much haste as we can muster.
We're in a dark place, right? I'm just gonna go shout-ish, but kind of like the quiet, comically hushed shout.
Yeah.
Not!
There is no response.
I don't have time for this.
Yeah, you are in a very dark, in fact, almost perfectly dark place. When you look at Dosk, you turn your head in the direction his voice came from, but you can't actually
Is the
see
smell
much
merely
there.
nostalgic, or do I have some reason to believe that this is where I was when I first found myself in Fermata?
You could be,
Sure.
but without being able to see anything or explore the area yet, you aren't sure.
Okay, I think I don't have a better idea than to start feeling my way toward some way out of where we are, then.
Okay. It takes a minute, but you do eventually find the base of some stairs. There is a sort of wooden support at the base of the stairs. Kind of the stairs go up one wall, and the support is on the other side of the bottom stair. Seems worn smooth from sort of hands, grasping it, and you start feeling your way up the stairs. They seem like relatively well-wrought stonework, and you find your way up to the top, and you can see actually just a little line at the bottom of the door. It's not exactly light, but where there is like a lesser darkness outside of this door. It is presumably some hour of nighttime that does not feature lamps and candles.
I unceremoniously go through it, since, we've decided to take the long way round.
You walk out through the door and you find yourself in what appears to be some sort of reading room, maybe? And you can actually smell salt water. And all at once, Dosk, you realize where you are. You're back in the Confluence. This is one of the sort of lesser library rooms. The basement you were in is where they kept, sort of fair copies of works that they had other better copies of. And this reading room is the one that novices were allowed into. At the moment, there's no one around. If you had to guess, you'd say it would be after midnight, but not quite close to dawn yet.
I try to explain this to Lissa with uncharacteristic brevity, and I say, we're in the Salt Shoals. More specifically, one specific Salt Shoal. I know where we are, but I'm not sure how to leave.
Let's just go back down where it's dark and try again.
Do you think that's not a bad idea, actually? In fact, it might be the best idea, because if the other brothers find me here, the sisters too, let's be clear, they may forcibly try to keep me here, and I don't think they could, but I don't want to hurt them. Let's go back down.
You quickly beat a retreat back into the basement where it's perfectly dark, and return to just outside the gates of Fermata, successfully. It's becoming second nature to you. You the gate. Lissa, you either detect or project that the gate is surprised to see you back so soon, but it does open.
Not the right place, buddy. We were off. We need to go northeast of that space and probably never to that spot again. And I look at Doss, confirming.
I confirm
northwest, but
oh, northwest, whatever direction, just not there.
in any case, confirm that was not a destination we would likely desire. I perhaps hesitate a fraction of a moment longer than you expect, but I do agree.
The gate is very still, and after you've passed through it back into the plaza, it slams shut behind you in what Lissa reads as kind of a fit of pique.
Good. I'm going to do lesser creation of fury and point out that if this gate wants to feel pique or wants to feel rage consistently in this newfound autonomy it has, it'll drop me off at the right place. Thank you. Please and thank you.
You create fury anew in the gate and communicate yourself as well as you can. Passing back through it, I suppose?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
The gate slams itself open and closed a few times before it admits you actually all the way through. And then you feel the falling sensation once again, and you find yourself back in the basement. You know immediately from the smell you're in the same spot.
Could this possibly mean there's nowhere closer to our destination that we could safely land? Is it... I go through a map in my head. Is it in the middle of nowhere?
The ocean.
The ocean. Right. The ocean.
Yeah, so, as a bit of clarification here, the confluence is, depending on where you were, like how you were measuring it, one of the more northwesterly points that you could find, sort of human settlement in Taraxis. Arguably the trading city of Solaro on the other side of the Godswoods is more of a west-northwest, but could compete with it. But if the gate was trying to send you, as far northwest as it could, and it was limited to, human inhabitation around Taraxis, this is probably where you would end up.
I just wordlessly grab Dosk and say, we need to go back through the gate. This is a small space, not a good place to have me right now. We need a boat.
We need a boat. I agree. Well, the good news is I know people here. They'll be maybe not happy to see me, but look, they can't say no. That's what it comes down to. It comes to this, they can't say no.
I was thinking we go elsewhere and find a boat, but by all means, if you want to go up there and talk to them.
How would we go elsewhere? It seems the gate is determined to drop us precisely here.
We can make requests now that we know what the gate is doing.
It's true enough. Sure, let's give it a go.
And the confluence is relatively close to Therit, which is a major trading hub where Dosk has connections. So
if it can drop us in Therit, then the sky, as it were, or the sea, is the limit. We have a lot of options. Again, people may not be happy to see me. I wish to prepare you for that. But they will know me, and they will, we're gods. I'm sure we'll work something out.
An undertone of what could possibly go wrong.
Yeah, absolutely. So we're going to go back through the gate, or go back to Fermata and then address the gate. And I guess this time we'd say, all right, I got to read on you this time, buddy. I know what you're trying to do. Can you drop us off at Therit instead?
The gate has no way of showing affirmative or negatory, but
Open
probably
twice.
Understood you.
For yes.
It just slams like a bunch of times.
That seemed accurate. Okay, let's go.
Passing through the gate once more, you find yourselves falling briefly into a dank stone space with a real sour, mildewy smell. And it takes but a moment for Dusk, you sigh, realizing that the gates have landed you in probably the darkest place in Therit, namely the city's dungeons.
I have good news, and I have bad news.
I don't... Can we just stick with the good news?
We're in Therit.
Okay, that works.
You may be interested in the bad news, though.
What's the bad news, Dusk?
We're going to have to figure out how to pool our efforts to break out of a dungeon?
Oh. A dungeon. Feeling around, can I get a sense of, like, are we actually in a cell? Are we... What's our situation?
You appear to be in an unmanned guard room. There are 2 doors and a table and an unlit lamp. One of the doors is very heavily secured with, iron banding and a big lock. The other one much less so.
I suppose we try the door that's clearly not trying to keep someone in or out.
Can I try to light the lamp with a lesser creation of fury?
Yeah, let's have you make a courtesy roll here for charm plus graces to try to get the unfamiliar lamp to do what you want.
Okay, 5 dice and 2 4s.
2 4s. Excellent. You create fury, and you're familiar with this by now. You understand from your misadventures in Calavan that making something flammable furious can make it light, and the lamp kind of springs into life with a bit of a flash, and then it subsides to a steady burn. And yeah, you're in a guard room that just looks like it hasn't gotten used in a few years. Perhaps crime is down in Therit.
I think I've been here before. Possibly, I point to the banded iron door, there before. It's a long story. My grandfather, something about seeing the future that awaits me and getting a taste. I don't know. It left an impression. So I think in my head about the layout of the dungeon. Could I maybe roll lore and or do a lesser divination of nothing to find the path that leads out?
Oh, let's see. I'd let
the
you
logic
roll
there
for
being,
that.
just so everyone's clear, doorways are nothing. They're where a wall isn't, or at least can be not.
I'm gonna let you roll lore for it. It's 7 dice. You have a pretty good chance.
Okay. Let me gather up more dice here. That is 3 2s.
All right. You have a memory of being hustled down here by guards who were trying to put on a tough show, but clearly afraid of actually hurting you. And you think you're able to, take the various twists and turns back. You head through the less secure door, up a flight of stairs, take a left. The hallways up here are better lit. You can actually hear guards talking and laughing, and in a couple of cases dicing in a couple of areas here. And in short order, you are in the sort of entryway to the guardhouse with a previously pretty bored-looking page with a couple of parchment sheets and a quill in hand, looking at you, trying to decide if he wants to say something or not.
I think I take on the aspect of nothing. I look to him like whatever he would need to see to think that we're not the droids he's looking for.
Oh, it's just a Jedi mind trick. Oh. All right, so as an indication of a simple miracle, it does not cost any MP. You take on the aspect of nothing, and you don't know precisely what this page sees, but he rolls his eyes looking bored and waves you out, very perfunctorily. And with that, you are out in the sort of pre-dawn darkness on the streets of Theret. This is one of the trading cities of Taraxis, not as populous as some of the others, Calavan being the largest. Tiva, Nema, and Kaunis are kind of in the second tier, and Theret is just below that in terms of population, but is fairly wealthy, by most sort of calculations. Calavan certainly is wealthier. Kaunis has a couple of families that are really just extravagantly well off. But the sort of average prosperity of a resident of Theret is pretty high. And the town reflects this. It's got stone cobbling on the streets. It's got stand lanterns kind of throughout. They're not currently lit. They sort of only have enough wick for the first part of the night. But lamplighters go every night and kind of light all the street lamps. The buildings themselves are sort of half-timbered plaster with tile or slate roofs. And everything is pretty well sort of kept up. The sort of pre-dawn darkness here, the moon has set, the stars are out, but the sun isn't up yet, so it's quite dark, very quiet. You can hear the waves rolling into the harbor off to the west.
It's a lovely place, and perhaps we should spend more time here at some point, but for the moment, I know of one person in this entire city who would likely give us a ship without coercion or having to be motted at. And that would be my uncle. And I think as I'm saying this, I'm already sort of leading us to make a beeline for Lead Manor, which is my family's ancestral home, where I'm expecting to find my Uncle Melly.
Yeah, so in Theret, the wealthier homes are sort of in the highest point of the city because it is very far from the harbor, but not quite all the way up against the walls out into the plains. So, the nicest place that you could be in the city has this cluster of sort of palatial estates that all they're almost like suburban white picket fence homes in that they try very hard to have like grounds and views, but they're all kind of clustered on this hill so that they can be away from the stench of the harbor or the sort of risk of being close to the walls, and all trying to pretend very hard that the palatial building next door is not there. And you lead Lissa up this hill as you get into the merchant's quarter, as it were, where these merchant families all headquarter. The paving stones get more regular and flatter. The buildings go from half-timbered with slate roofs to white marble with red tile roofs. And you sort of thread your way, with great familiarity as the sun just barely starts to light in the sky, not visible over the horizon yet, but light kind of coming in toward what maybe arguably is the grandest of the merchant estates in Theret. Not at the top of the hill, as the Tyr family hasn't always been so prosperous as it is now, but certainly their renovations have kept pace with their prosperity. The wall is pure white marble with wrought iron decorations on the top that are beautiful but also hostile. You wouldn't want to try to climb over them. The gates themselves are wrought of silver, which is very impractical for security, but the gatehouse has enough guards in it that probably the actual gate itself is a secondary consideration. The guard who is currently sort of monitoring the street seems very surprised to see anybody at all, and begins to say, "Come back when it's light, the family's oh, dear God."
I jump in without missing a beat and say, if I were Melissa's Tyr, which I'm not, as you know, I would want to see me, and I would want to see me without anyone else, most especially not Krios' tier, hearing a word about it.
Okay, so...
Should I roll something?
You should roll Charm plus Graces.
Okay, is that what we're calling that?
I would also accept Command plus Intimidate, but Charm plus Graces is 5 dice, and Command plus Intimidate is only 4. So.
Yeah, no, I'll take the first offer. Yeah. Oop, almost dropped a die. Let me do it again.
I just learned something interesting about Dosk. You can actually intimidate people. Whereas I inspire.
So I got 2 10s.
2 10s. The guard immediately snaps to attention and says, "Right away, sir." And then kind of gives you about 2 seconds of just kind of like wide-eyed stare before he like starts hauling the gate open. And rouses a page, and in a low voice says, "Rouse Melusus, right away. Don't tell anyone else." And the page kind of nods lazily and jogs off without actually that much of a hurry.
There's a decent chance this will be expeditious, which I think is important. I can only imagine what you're going through. I can actually imagine it better than most, but still, we'll do this as quickly as we can.
Much appreciated. And as a future reference, our family should never meet.
I have questions about that, but we'll deal with them later. I'm not sure my family should meet itself.
I can understand that too.
If all goes well, you're about to meet the only one of them that I have any desire to ever spend another moment with. So, hooray!
Good. So the second best tier.
The second tier?
I probably don't know that I'm blushing, but I blush a lot. A second tier? Oh no.
A second tier?
That makes me top tier.
Did I miss?
Oh, the wordplay.
Well done. Would you say there is some sort of tier list?
There's certainly a tiering.
A tiered ranking.
Ooh, that got dark.
Now I'm wishing I had finished Tyranny so that I could make a joke about the tiers. In any case, after a short interval, you enter. Presumably, Das, you can lead Lissa to like a sitting room or something where there will be.
I don't actually lead Lissa through the front door. There is I lead Lissa, but not through the front door. There's a small garden to the right with a sitting room that not everyone would necessarily know about, and I know that's where Uncle Melly would probably go if he were trying to slip away and take a meeting.
So yeah,
Can I hang out in the garden and make a flower crown?
So there aren't actually flowers in this particular garden. It is topiary. Rampant horses and lions, and the centerpiece is a hawk in mid-dive with a diadem on its head.
I actually bury my face in my hands when I see that.
I notice Dosk's reaction and then kind of give him a grin and do a lesser creation of fury on the topiary to make it grow.
So your intention here is to make it grow in the sense of like freely, okay?
Yes, because it's been cut back. Every time it starts to reach its potential, someone comes along and trims it back into shape. And wouldn't it rather be free to be itself, etc.?
Okay, I'm going to do you a favor here. Roll Command plus Inspire.
Thank you. I'm glad you did that favor, because I rolled a 1. So that's a pair of 1s.
All right. The topiary does start to grow at like a visible if slow speed. Only what it does is not grow freely. It grows such that the wings start to like move in as though it is coming in for a landing. And by the time you reach the door into this sort of particular parlor, the hawk is now just seated calmly in its greenery and a little shaggier, topiary-wise, than it was. The diadem remains, but is slightly obscured by the greenery around it now.
The worst of it is that he'll probably like that.
At least the topiary's happy.
Weirdly enough, it does look prouder this way than it did before. Dusk, you open the door, usher Lissa in, and almost at the same moment, just as you close the door behind you, your Uncle Melly, in a very lavish dressing gown of silk with thread of gold and seed pearls on it, enters, looking a little disheveled from being in bed, but altogether more put together than you would in a similar situation. He closes the door behind him and crosses his arms in front of him and says, "Oh, boy, what is it now?"
I genuinely, and you won't believe me when I say that you won't believe me, but you won't believe me if I tell you the trouble. The short of it is, my friend is in trouble, and we need a ship. How have you been?
I smile and wave.
He looks at Lissa and then looks at Dusk and looks at Lissa and looks at Dusk and goes, "Are you finally bringing home a wife?"
I am genuinely speechless, but only for a moment. And then I manage only, no.
He goes,
Right at the same time I say yes.
he goes, "You know, this is what I should have expected all along. To answer your question, nephew, I am well. It appears that you have somehow added even more to your wardrobe. I daren't ask where. Weren't you headed to Selvin?"
I was at that. Things took a turn for the strange. I draw a little bit of attention to my shirt, which is as black as any black has ever been, since it is, after all, Forgotten.
He kind of squints and he goes, "My word. Can you tell us where to source this? We could make a killing selling it, especially in Caladan."
You're not wrong. It's one of a kind so far as I'm aware, but I can certainly speak to the manufacturer.
I see. But as interested as I am, and I know that you're not here to talk trade with me because, well, you're you, but you need a ship.
I pretend to take that as a compliment.
He sort of pinches the bridges and says, "Ships are expensive, as are crews. I know you said I wouldn't believe you, but why do you need a ship? And why should I give you a ship? I mean, you know that I have indulged you in the past, but really a ship? It's quite a far cry from dancing lessons."
Well, I think they paid off handsomely. It's more than a few jams have been solved with a bit of dancing. That's not really the point. And anyway, this tailor, I do think I could... The point is, my friend is ill, and the only doctor, the only remedy, perhaps more accurately, is far northwest, across the water, and thus we need a ship to take us there. We've no other means of conveyance. We've no clear plan beyond that, and I couldn't come to anyone else. And you're right, you have indulged me. You've indulged me more than probably anyone, and I dare say more than I've deserved, but I've always endeavored to make it up to you in my own way.
You're his favorite relative.
She's not a bit wrong. Thank you, honey.
You're welcome, darling.
How obvious is the lie based on that exchange alone?
That was for me and Uncle Ellie to know.
Fair. I suppose I am retreating into my role of peanut gallery.
Fair enough.
I mean, you're clearly playing that role in Dusk's head, so it's fair enough.
So, Dusk, I need a charm plus graces from you, 5 dice, and
betcha.
I would like an assist roll from Lissa, charm plus graces, 5 dice.
We're charming people.
We are.
Are you, though?
2 1s.
2 8s.
2 8s, alright. So, because of the 2 1s, we're actually going to make that 2 9s, which is splitting hairs at this point, but that's how I'm deciding this particular assist roll will work. And Uncle Melly sort of sighs deeply and, rubs his temple and his forehead with his fingers and says, well, you know that I do like to look out for family, but I don't think you understand what you're asking. We do send ships north of the Shadowed Lands, but we follow the coast. If you're talking about northwest, you're talking about crossing open ocean. I don't know that we have any crews that would be willing to take on that task, no matter the payday. And they're not going to be carrying cargo. And then he pauses and says, what would they? Oh, there's a thought. And he begins to kind of mutter to himself.
I lean in, and not only that, but I pretend to understand the muttering. I give supportive nods and so on.
Uncle Melly finally rounds immediately, literally he's pacing side to side, kind of stroking his chin and muttering to himself one moment, and then the next moment he's facing Lissa and pointing at you. And he says, where are you headed? Bearing, distance, how far?
I give my best description of where the little prick of the needle was coming from when I did lesser divination.
Sure. Some sense direction here would help, but you can't actually pass that roll.
No.
If you would like to...
Now that he said the phrase north of the Shadowed Lands, and I'm possibly putting 2 and 2 or 2 in the square root of something together, could I roll lore and see if I can take a wild guess? Or if we're doing something else first, that's all good.
You can. I was going to give Lissa the option here. You can use aspect miracles to pass mortal attribute checks if you'd like. It's going to require you to use miracle points. In this case, I believe it would be 2 aspect miracle points. Otherwise, we can let Dusk try to use his lore.
I'll use the miracle points.
Okay. You sort of think about it for a second, you go, God damn it, kind of in your head, and then you sort of summon the divine, sort of essence within you to sort of infuse your mind and your body for a moment, and basically, you max out what, you could roll, on any kind of direction check, and you are able to sort of very rapidly break down the feeling you have and the knowledge that you do have about geography, and fixing Uncle Melly with a sort of knowing look, you say, it would be northwest, almost precisely, only a few degrees to the north, by about 400 miles, maybe a little more, as the crow flies. And he sort of blinks once and says, you've been there, then?
I have just heard tale in the trade industry that that's the only place that someone could fix my condition, and I kind of blot at my brow.
I produce a handkerchief from my vest pocket, and
I accept it with a gracious smile and a wink, and blot at my brow with the handkerchief.
Uncle Melly glances back and forth between the two of you rapidly for a second and goes, all right, here's my offer. We'll fit our largest 3-mast ship with extra rigging, with extra provisions. We'll put our most singular and expensive merchandise in the cargo hold. We'll put you on board. we'll send you on this young lady's bearings, and if we make it, we should make a tidy profit trading. They shouldn't have seen any of our wares before, and we should be the first people to trade there from Taraxis. If we're wrong, then I don't suppose we'll see you or the crew or the supplies or the ships again, but trading is all about gambles, and your grandfather has certainly seen to the Tyr family's ability to absorb one lost ship. I'm willing to take this gamble because on the off chance that you're telling me the truth, he looks at Lissa, we could certainly use advantageous marriage too, and he kind of, cranes his neck up at this. Such strong stock. And if it does pan out, we'll certainly have an advantage over our rivals on trading across the ocean. But my offer comes with a caveat. He looks at Liz and he says, "My dear, you look positively peaked. I can have a servant show you to our most comfortable guest chamber, where I hope that you can rest and recover a little bit ahead of your voyage." And then he immediately looks with sort of a raptor glare at Dask and says, "You will tell me what's actually going on before I let you leave this port." And then he gestures graciously to one of the sofas in the sitting room and says, "Have a seat, I'll call for some wine."
I look at Dask and kind of give him a what do I do face. Do you need support? Is it better if I leave?
I give you a for the love of God, don't leave look. But I do take the seat I'm offered.
All right, you sit.
I just kind of smile as winsomely as I can at the uncle and say, I think the best remedy for my condition is to stay close to my betrothed.
He rolls his eyes and says, "Suit yourself, then. Please, have a seat." And he sort of seats himself in a commanding and authoritative easy chair across the way, and says, fixing Dask with something that's not quite a glare. "So, you were headed to Selvin. What's happened in the interim? The truth only, please."
The truth only. I swear it. So, I arrived in Selvin. It's a charming story that's not especially here nor there, but I was in search of a rare tome, and this took me deep, deep within the recesses of their most storied library, and I found myself quite in darkness, and that's when the part you might not believe took place. I assume the wine has arrived?
Sure.
So I have a wine glass in my hand, and I perform a ghost miracle, whereby for just a fleeting moment, the wine is still there, but the glass is not. I don't want the wine to fall. I want it to be suspended in glass for just a moment.
Uncle Nelly blinks, but he doesn't say anything. And he looks back at you and says, "You have my attention. Do go on."
Well, remember that time you told me that I might prove everyone wrong and make something of myself? I'm a duke.
Oh. A duke, you say? I didn't know there were any left. Of what duchy?
None whatsoever?
Everything.
I promised you only the truth. I'm the duke of next the table in front of us, just for a moment. Nothing on it falls, but there is no table.
He glances down, looks up at you and says, "The Duke of Prestidigitation?"
I'm again wordless for just a moment.
That has a nice ring to it. I chime in.
Do you remember, I try another story, do you remember those curious worshippers of the obsidian god, who would always be about?
Yes. They brought their customs up from Calavan some generations ago. They've never caught on as much in Therit, but we do see them from time to time. What about them?
Well, do you remember when I was 12 years old and I asked you if all gods were equally real? Do you remember that?
Vaguely, yes. What's your point?
Well, theirs, I've met. I promised you only the truth.
He gives you a kind of searching look and says, very well, boy, I believe that you believe you have met this obsidian god, but you'll forgive me if I remain somewhat skeptical of the reliability of your truth.
I didn't promise it would be believable, only that I would tell you the truth.
He nods and seems basically satisfied with this answer, and says, how does that bring you here asking for a ship for an impossible voyage, then?
Well, my companion is, like me, more than just someone now. I'm more than a man, not only less, which I believe you've heard me referred to as many a time, but I am something else now, and so is she. And we have strange and wonderful abilities, and hers are being pricked at by some mal-influence which we must seek out, or she'll never know a moment's peace, and I, therefore, won't know a moment's peace.
He nods once, slowly, and says, let me make sure that I understand. You have met, possibly been chosen by this obsidian god to preside over something, I suppose. You were very vague on that point. As has the lady here, and he gives you a courteous nod.
I return it in kind.
Duchess, but no need for formalities.
He raises an eyebrow and says, I will take it in stride. Literally says it out loud. And then and something about this role has you obliged to travel across the ocean to the northwest in order to seek some remedy for what ails. I do apologize for my rudeness, my lady. I don't believe that I ever inquired as to your name. I am Melissa's Tyr. And you are?
I am Alyssa, Duchess of Fury. And you are a very discerning man, if I do say so myself. If my friend's miracles here don't persuade you, you seem to be in control of your own mind and your own emotions. Perhaps you should take my hand and see for yourself what we can do.
He gives you kind of a long look and says, I suppose that it was my side of the family that gave Dosk his vice of curiosity, and then reaches out his hand.
I'm going to do a lesser creation of furious joy.
Okay. So the lesser creation is obviously successful. Roll charm plus graces for your intent.
Okay. My intent is to give him the joy of broking the most auspicious deal in trade. I have 2 3s.
Okay. His eyes go slightly wide, and you see sort of a flush rise up into his face, and he doesn't jerk his hand back, but he does sort of let go of your hand and examine his, and he says, interesting. You called it a miracle. He nods once and says, I see. Well, this gives me a lot to think about. And you say this god is real. What does it want?
We're still working on that ourselves, but suffice to say, you should be very proud of your nephew.
He looks at Dusk and sighs and says, Gods help me, I often am. Though he doesn't sound particularly happy about it.
I am perfectly convinced that no one sees the tear I wipe away.
He takes a deep breath and says, very well. As I said, this is a risk our family can afford to take, so I'm willing to take it for you, the two of your sake, but also for the chance to give us an edge. It'll take some time, if you can bear it. My lady? He gives you a questioning look.
Alyssa, please. No need for titles.
I do apologize. I have not had occasion to address a duchess. The last of the hereditary aristocracy in Taraxis is long buried at this point. But very well. Listen, if you can bear it, it should take us a day to a day and a half to get a ship ready. You're welcome to the luxuries of our manor in the meantime. He looks at Dusk and says, "Though you, son, should probably make yourself scarce. Old Croesus is in town. He is keeping to his chambers most of the time, as he is quite infirm these days, but you know how his attitudes have tended to be reflected in your other relatives, and, well, I'm already going to be ruffling enough feathers as it is. It doesn't do for me to be running interference on your behalf as well."
Someday, Uncle, I hope to have a quarter of your tact. Yes, I'll make myself extremely scarce.
And as much as I appreciate your gracious hospitality, I think it's best, given the proximity of our powers, and I kind of glance at Dusk, if I stay close to him, wherever that
when
be.
Lissa says powers, I can't help but make a prestidigitation face. Ooh.
Melissus sort of nods and says, "Very well. Well, Dusk, you know the city well enough. Pick a suitable inn for the lady and tell them that Melissus will pay for it. You still have your family crest. Please, God, tell me you still have your family crest."
Of course. And even my membership in the Merchants Guild. Lifetime. Irrevocable.
Oh, yes, they did try to change that rule while you were gone, you know, but it was shot down.
All the better for me. I want you to know, Uncle, how much I appreciate this. It truly means the world, and if you've ever thought for a moment that I forget or don't appreciate what you do for me, please let me remove that terrible misconception from you. I extract a coin from my pocket and make an attempt at sort of a coin trick, rolling it from finger to finger, and hold it up to him. I don't know how well I do at this trick. If you need me to roll something,
we're actually going to roll for it, for sure.
Okay.
Yeah, that's going to be, boy, just a straight coordination roll, 2 dice.
Oh boy, okay. No matches.
The
Could
coin
I,
falls on the table.
Oh, I was going to try to do lesser creation of fear and at least make it fall with a flourish.
It all happens pretty quickly.
You never did tell
Uncle
me when
Billy,
this was from, I say, no longer holding it between my fingers but gesturing to it on the table. But ever since you gave it to me, I've never been without it, nor shall I.
He looks at the coin on the table and shakes his head and says, "Oh, it's a miracle I rose this high in this family with my sentimentality, but, son, you are one of a kind, and I would hate to see the world chew you up and spit you out. Hopefully you'll make something of yourself yet, and a good way to start doing that would be to bring this voyage back safely." He fixes you with a meaningful glance and says, "I know that you are not merchant material, and I don't mean that as a slight. I mean your interests and talents lie elsewhere, but we are a merchant family, and so if you can prove to me and to the rest of the family that you can get this audacious voyage back in one piece, then perhaps we can, well, at least achieve you stepping less lightly around the rest of our relatives. In the
I intend to
meantime,
prove, beyond any
please-
doubting, that what I lack in propriety, I make up for in audacity.
And I can give my word that I will do whatever necessary to ensure that he is successful in this, in gratitude for your kindness.
He nods and says, "The best way to show gratitude would be to bring back a rich cargo of exotic wares, but I'll settle for your and the crew's safety." He picks up the coin and hands it back to Dusk and says, "I'm going back to bed. I'm no longer as young as I was, but please send word of where you're staying in the city so that I know where to find you. Do take care. The lady." So, and he kind of gives a little, very slight bow and then sweeps out of the room. Servants immediately file in and take the rest of the wine in glasses and decanters both and leave with it.
Well,
Did that go well?
it did. It did. My greatest concern was that someone else would walk through the door. Speaking of which, we should probably leave immediately. There are plenty of perfectly suitable lodgings here in the city, so I think we're doing well. Are you okay, though? I had really hoped to leave tonight, as unreasonable as that expectation may have been. It hurts me to think that you're hurting.
I'm hanging in there.
Sure. Yes, of course. So, you being you and all, do you just need a soft bed, or do you need a drink?
Yes.
Yes. Then I know precisely the place. So I lead her to an inn and public house, which is not in the sort of fancier area of town, but proximal enough to it that it's exactly the kind of place where people with simply money to burn and people who have some kind of actual reason to be there might show up.
Yeah, you confidently thread your way through Therit's streets, down the hill part of the way, sort of to just above its base, where you come to a 3-story stone building with slate roofing, called the Eagle and Lion. Very dignified sign painted above it that has been kind of weathered over the years, seemingly a little rundown on the signage front. But once you enter, there's roaring fires, even this time of morning. And while the common room below is pretty deserted, there is a only slightly drowsy serving man propped up behind the bar, who, when the bell over the door rings, sort of, "Oh, yes, rooms?"
Rooms indeed. 2, and first, very importantly, a few drinks, and I should mention that all of this will be upon the good graces of Melissa's Tier, who should also be informed forthwith that we're staying here. Who are we? He'll know.
The serving man looks around for a second, blinks, and goes, "Right you are, sir." And sort of rustles under the counter, brings up some actual glasses, because, this is a joint that serves merchants, and as well as 2 keys, and says, "Not to be unproprietous, sir, but you have a family crest for the billing?"
Of course. I undo a couple of layers of garment, and under my vest, in a sort of you-wanna-buy-a-watch gesture, is the Tier family crest pinned to the inside of the vest.
I watched the entire thing with raised eyebrows.
Yeah, he leans in and says, "Very good, sir, just had to check. Hope you didn't take any offense.
None whatsoever. Of course. One can't be too careful about these things. And, my good man, your name?"
"Oh, the Malcolm, sir."
Malcolm.
Malcolm,
you're an awfully good egg, if I may. I'll be sure to tell Uncle that you took good care of us.
That would be right kind of you, sir. The drinks, what would you like? We have quite a selection.
The stiffest drink you have.
His eyebrows climb halfway to his hairline and says, "Are you sure? I'm sure your ladyship can handle it, but it's quite stiff."
I can handle it.
"Very well, and same for sir?"
Oh, most certainly not. Hit me about
I shake my head.
Hit me about half as hard as you're hitting her. It's something, I don't know, with flavors.
He likes fruit.
He kind of cocks his head a little bit and says, "Right away, sir." And he gets down a clay jug from which he pours a clear liquid into one glass and slides it toward Lissa. And then he gets down a glass bottle and pours something kind of light brown into the other glass and slides it toward Dosk and says, if you'll just leave the glasses either outside the door if you take them up to your room, or on the bar if you don't. You can take your time. I won't intrude. And he sort of sits down on his stool and leans back, closes his eyes. You have interrupted his night's sleep.
Oh. And I take it that he's the only one around aside from Dosk and I.
It's just the three of you, yeah.
I think I toast Lissa and I say to getting this sorted quickly and to surviving a sea voyage while at war with the sea.
I definitely need this drink after you put it that way.
There's something about seeing my family, even Uncle Melly, that makes me a inveterate realist. I'm sorry.
I still stand by the fact that our family should never meet.
I visibly do not ask about your family. The volume with which I do not ask is deafening. Because I can tell you do not want to talk about it.
I pick up on the volume, being someone with social skills. And only slightly obliged by remarking, I imagine mine would also react favorably to the notion of me being favorably betrothed. And I take my drink.
Oh, they want little more from me. That and I suppose, well, that might be number 2. I suppose number 1 is me being the precise opposite of everything I am, in fact. Might be a close second, though.
Yeah, the same goes for me, but I ignored that.
The clear liquid in Lissa's glass, as far as you can tell, is basically pure alcohol. It
Moonshine
burns very, I'm going to go satisfactorily for Lissa's current mood.
Mm-hmm.
Whereas Dosk, your glass is a very high quality whiskey. It's quite the savor. After you have finished your drinks, if there's anything else you guys want to say to each other, by all means go ahead. But I'm assuming you pretty much turn in after this because it's like 4 a.m.
Yeah, I clap Dask on the shoulder and tell him thank you.
Of course. We're in this together, regardless of what it is and how strange it might become.
You retire, each take a key. You have fairly nice rooms upstairs. Not a patch on your extremely opulent chambers in the manse back in Fermata, but certainly nicer than anything like the Nightcap has. And it having been kind of a day, find yourselves asleep pretty easily. Lissa, you still have this extreme discomfort, but your consciousness seems to be extremely eager to escape it. And so you sleep fitfully and with pretty vivid, upsetting dreams, nothing specific, just you wake up with that vague feeling that I didn't rest very well. But you do manage to sleep pretty quickly, which is a relief in and of itself. You wake partway through the morning, later than you normally sleep because, you kind of were on an odd schedule and got into town at an odd time. But you have approximately a day to spend in the city before your ship is ready if there's anything in particular you want to do, or just hold down the fort at the inn and amuse yourselves until word comes.
Do we have a sense of how squiggly time gets if we go back to Fermata? Like, does no time pass? Does time pass normally? I don't think we've had a way to notice this so far.
Yeah, this seems to be the first time that thought has come up.
Yeah, but the thought that hits me as I see the sun sort of through a window and think about how unlike Fermata this is do I have time to go get him a whole bunch of these shirts? It forms just about like that and everything else follows from there. Well, we can't miss our ship, so maybe that's out of the question for now. But my thoughts turn to what else I might do that's nice for Uncle Melly.
You probably have about as much success thinking about those possibilities as you ever have.
Sure. Fair.
And so probably spend most of the time thinking of things rather than, or considering ideas rather than actually putting any of them into practice.
That sounds
Listen,
very on brand, yeah.
Yeah. Anything in particular that you wish to use your roughly 24 hours for?
Not really. Anyone noteworthy pass through that might catch my eye?
That's a good question. This inn is a sort of meeting place for more upper-class merchants and for kind of lower down the chain, kind of craftsmen and suppliers, shippers and captains. So there are some colorful characters, but nothing that you couldn't have encountered before. I'm going to guess that you're probably keeping in your cups, because of all the, sort of splintering your mind sensations that accompany being awake. So I'm not decreeing by fiat that Lissa is just like drunk all the time, but probably like usually has a drink.
Yes. Maybe not the clear liquor always,
Sure.
but something for sure.
And
that's the wandering eye.
Yeah, so time just kind of like passes by you and you sort of watch and sort of entertain yourself by seeing what goes on here. But this place is a little too rarefied for most of the company that you would find truly interesting. It's possible that sometimes like a dashing pirate captain might come in, but that hasn't happened today.
Darn.
Just no luck at all.
Yeah. Partway through that afternoon, a runner does come from the Tyr Manor with a note from Uncle Melly for Dosk, telling you of the name of the ship and the time when it is going to be ready to depart, which is going to be early the next morning. And the ship is called the Swift of Theret, which is pretty typical for naming conventions around this particular area. You, if you had to guess, would say that the name might actually be a little bit ironic because the largest ships of the type that Uncle Melly said that he was going to send are never particularly fast.
Being caught unawares by the runner, because I've been thinking about shirts all morning. I bid him wait a moment. I actually take off the shirt that I've been wearing from Fermata. I scrawl a quick note which says, "The shirt off my shoulders, if that's not too on the nose, and more to come, assuming I survive." I do not sign it.
The runner gives you a really confused look and then, heads back up the hill. And you are now without a shirt underneath all of your other accoutrement. So if there's anything in particular you want to do in preparation for the voyage, you have the evening to do so. Otherwise, we can just go right ahead to you guys showing up on the docks.
I probably buy a shirt that I think looks seafaring, whatever that means to Tusk.
I probably see if I can buy some of the clear alcohol for my voyage.
You bargain with the barkeep in the evening, who seems to be a little higher up the totem pole than some of the other serving folks, and get 2 clay jugs full of this, what he calls home distill.
Thank you, and it is moonshine.
Bids that you be careful with it now.
Oh, don't worry. I've had a lot of mountain lightning in my time.
He quirks an eyebrow and says, "I'm sure your ladyship knows what she's doing," and goes back about his business. And then you pass another evening in relative comfort and quietude. For Alyssa, of course, that is within the bounds of having your estate attacked. And the next morning you head to the docks. The Swift of Theret is indeed a very large ship with very stout masts, 3 of them, square-rigged, with some triangular sails in the front. A large crew who are bustling about as though enlisted on short notice for a voyage. The captain is a surprisingly short woman, given the stature of the rest of the crew, with dark hair and a sailor's tan, but rather fine clothing. She seems to be of late middle years, and she tells you that you should just call her captain and get used to it. As you board, she gives an extremely critical eye to Dosk and a somewhat musing, calculating eye to Lissa as you board, and basically says gruffly, just stay out of me crew's way and you should be just fine. There's a nicely appointed cabin for you. Don't know what Nemesis was thinking, but just keep to it as much as you can.
I respond with, yes, Captain, but say Captain as though I'm enjoying the taste of the word.
She gives you a sharp look as though she thinks she's being made fun of and says, I'm told you to be our navigator as well, so I'll put you in conference with our helmsman once we're out to sea. No voyage like this has ever been successfully attempted, and people stop trying after a while for the most part that I'm aware of, so you'll do well to jump to when I tell you what to do.
I repeat it again, but this time with a wink, as I say captain to make it very clear that I'm not making fun of her, but rather find it endearing that she wants to be called by a nickname of authority. I guess it's not a nickname, but a title of authority.
She looks genuinely confused, but just shakes it off and starts shouting orders at the crew, of which there are quite a few, especially compared to the shoreline trading vessels that Dosk might be more used to seeing. The cabin that you have is nicely appointed for a ship. Lissa, you despair at seeing that there is a, hinged fold-down bed that your feet will definitely hang off of. Were you to lay out straight, on it. And there is just the one. There is a table bolted to the floor, off to one side, and a couple of chests and cabinets that mostly just have water and bedding and kind of general sundries in them. Several are empty, apparently anticipating luggage that you didn't really bring. And then there is a sort of bolted-in lantern in the center of the ceiling of this cabin. There's no porthole or anything. It's just wood floor, wood walls, wood decking as a ceiling, wood furniture and bed. The pallet, at least, is relatively nice. It seems to have been actually stuffed with feathers that goes on the bed. So that's pretty much what you're looking at. And it's shaping out to be a long voyage. You cast off at exactly the appointed time and are at sea. Anything in particular for sort of the first little leg of voyaging that we want to do, or are we following orders to just try to entertain ourselves in our cabin?
God, did you even bring
I may try to
cards?
get to know the crew and see if they know any sea shanties that I can sing along with them. Or teach them.
I'm going to roll that Lissa probably knows a fair few tavern songs, but you were from fairly far inland for Taraxis. The chance that you know proper sea shanties is pretty low.
I would know a few body songs, for sure.
For sure. Yeah. Das?
Would you believe I was also going to say sea shanties? So Dosk has probably a wide academic understanding of sailing, but probably can't resist pestering whatever crewman looks to his eye like he has a moment to ask questions about this or that kind of rigging, or ask if he knows any sea shanties.
For the most part, the crew is more receptive to chatting and hanging out with Lissa, although if they get caught doing it, the captain is not particularly pleased, and chivies them into harder, more drudgerous work. When they see Dosk coming, they pretty much just find ways to be really busy, except one of the older sailors, who forgets to introduce himself to you. He just refers to you as your lordship, and speaks through his 4 remaining teeth at great length about what would to anybody else be extremely dull topics, like the best methods for swabbing a deck or for repairing rope. But to Dusk may very well be quite interesting.
I drink it in like a person who rereads Moby Dick every summer.
All-time great analogy.
We're both pretty dangerous at this point in our existence, so it's
And you pass the first sort of 2 days in roughly this way. It's not full interesting days, but there's a lot of relatively enjoyable meditative downtime. Lissa, you are dealing with the discomfort as best you can. The liquor that you got from the barman helps, especially in the evenings where you're pretty much banished from the decks because at low light you just can't afford the obstacle of somebody just milling about. And the second night, you're really just about to bed down when you hear something. The wind picking up? No, it's too regular for that. And then it clicks. You're hearing the siren's song on the breeze. And that's where we'll end our session for today. Everybody can get one mortal experience point. And
we should have spent some miracle points on concealing the miraculousness that is us.
Definitely we're given every opportunity. So.
Yeah.
Damn our love of sea shanties.
Well, it is understandable, however, strategically inadvisable it might have been. So we'll pick up there with the siren's song on the wind next time we meet. But for now, that concludes this session of Dice Punks. Thanks for joining us. I hope our players and our listeners enjoyed it as much as I did, and that you'll all join us again next time. If you're hearing us now, then you probably know where to listen to this, but we can be found almost any place one can listen to podcasts, as well as on the wider web at dicepunks.com and on Twitter as @dicepunks. With that, I think we're ready to say farewell. Say goodbye to the kind folks at home's players.
Thanks for listening, everybody, and remember to conceal yourself from the sea upon whom you've made war.
Thanks for listening, everyone, and please remember to drink responsibly.
Thanks for listening, folks, and if you find yourself in peril, actually go to someone who can help you.
And as the poet once said, the surface is smooth and cold, but underneath the blood always boils.
Thank you, dear listeners, for tuning in, and stick around through the admin stuff. There's a very fun Dosk fact with Drew waiting for you at the end of it. The songs in this episode, theme of the Dice Punks and its acoustic version, were written and recorded by the Duke of Nothing himself, Drew. Cover art is by Joanne, who will be behind the scenes for the time being, but played Rue, the Gremlin, in our Psionics one-shot. Site design and graphics for dicepunks.com are by Robin, the player behind the irrepressible Lissa, the Duchess of Fury. Rain and the one-roll engine it runs on were created by Greg Stolze, whose work can be found in a frankly astonishing number of cool places, but I'll point you toward gregstolze.com. Nobilis was created by Jenna Caterin Moran and can be found alongside much of her other really intriguing work both in and outside of tabletop role-playing at afarandsunlessland.wordpress.com. Links to both systems and authors can be found on the Punk Grimoire section of our website, dicepunks.com. Thanks so much for listening. If you liked what you heard, well, that's reward enough on its own, really, but if you're so inclined, you can help us out by rating and reviewing us wherever you listen to us, telling your friends who you think would like us to give us a listen, and even by heading over to our Patreon at patreon.com/dicepunks. We have fun rewards available to backers, including a patron-only Discord, and access to the Dice Peaks After Show for episodes 1 and following. Regardless, we hope you'll tune in again, and until then, remember, subtlety is for cowards.
There was a public house in Therrit many years ago. Well, there is a public house in Therrit, and the regulars will tell you that many years ago, there was a patron who would incorrigibly and incessantly hit on the barmaid. There's some disagreement as to whether she humored him on the first night, whether she had him kicked out on the second, third, fourth, or fifth, but everyone agrees that on the ninth night, she physically threw him through the window. This, however, did not deter him. He came back the next night thinking he could buy her dinner when her shift ended and would always ask, "You eat yet?" As he became perhaps a bit more discouraged, and when he was in his cups, this became shortened to "Yeet yet?" And it became a ritual that upon his asking, she would eject him in the same manner. And it took many days, many weeks for him to be deterred. In fact, he remained undeterred until at last he became known as Yeet. It's a Dask fact. It's a Dask fact. It's a Dask fact.